What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the world's most dangerous podcast. I'm Skylar Webker. He's Ben Brown. Ben, not a whole lot of Reds news to cover. We're hoping Nick would wake up from his turkey nap late tonight and get some deals done, but nothing has come to fruition so far.
No, it's been a pretty slow news week for the Reds. So, I was hoping that maybe something would shake up. There was a little bit of motion going on like earlier in the week with some trades and guys moving around, but it was not the Reds. So,
yeah, a lot of little free agent signings. The Orioles signed Ryan Helsley, a couple of trades, and just ticky-tack moves. All in all, it's kind of been a quiet free agent market, period. I mean, not a ton of teams are doing a whole lot. I mean, normally at this time you'd have like the Dodgers or the Yankees or Philly, like people really getting after at least somebody. But there really hasn't been anything this offseason.
No, it's been pretty quiet. And I don't know if that's because we got the lockouts looming, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know if that's got something to do with it, where guys are where teams are being super cautious about what they do and how they do it and the moves they make and things like that. So I don't know if that's got something to do with it, but it's been super quiet.
Yeah, you really have like the top spenders kind of pinching their pennies a little bit because they think there's probably gonna be something coming. And you have the cellar dwellers like the Pirates saying, we're gonna put $30 million in payroll so we don't look so terrible going into this.
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely feast or famine. And the teams that you expected to move money and do some things will be doing it. And then like you said, the cellar dwellers, man, like it'll just be they're just trying to act like something's happened when really honestly nothing's really going on.
And a Redbeard Breaks puts in here to sign Schwarber and O'Hearn. I mean, I'm down. I'm down with it. And apparently so are Nick Kroll and the whole front office, because there's a piece put out this past week with Ken Rosenthal that said that the Reds only have 3 spots that they are considered locked down. And I was surprised by that. The 3 spots were right field, Noelvi Marte. I was surprised that they're saying right field's locked down. And then Elliott shortstop and Hayes at third. Those 2 obvious lockdowns.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they put Marte as lockdown and then said everything is out for competition. I mean, that speaks a lot.
Yeah, that does. That says a whole lot. And it's hopefully the mindset, like what they're thinking, how they're thinking about going into the offseason. But the Marte ones, it surprises me, but it's almost like when they made that move, they knew that he was going to be the right fielder for years to come, because they moved him from third base and they were like, look, like he's going to be our right fielder, pencil it in. Like he showed us enough that we don't have to worry about that position. So I don't know if that's where their mindset was, but that's what it kind of felt like when they made that move. Like we're assuming this guy is going to be our right fielder for years to come. And I don't know if that'll be the case, but him putting it out there like that kind of makes me feel that way. We already talked about the value of Ellie, and we already talked about Brian Hayes. So those other 2 we kind of knew were there. But a lot of teams usually don't put that out there like that. So I don't know what they're trying to accomplish by saying that. Like are they trying to say they're going to wheel and deal and say, hey, like we're open to moving everybody, we're open to certain slots? Does that mean Hunter Green's available? Does that mean guys like that are available? What like honestly, what does it mean when you just say those 3 slots are locked in? So there's a lot to the statement, but then there's not a lot to the statement. So
yeah, I mean, Redbeard has the same idea that I had, which was, you're saying catcher's not even like locked in? Does that mean Tyler Stevenson's on the trading block? I mean, I think you have healthy competition around the diamond. Like Spencer Steer, if they go get a first baseman, he'll move out to left field. But I think with the emergence of Sal Stewart, you could say like Matt McClain, your spot is not inked. I mean, TJ Friedel, you've been great, but if there's a center fielder that comes to town, your spot is not inked. So they're putting a lot out there that like maybe Tyler Stevenson's available, and they really liked what they saw from Jose Trevino or a lot of the other guys. So I'm surprised that they put out there that only those 3 spots are locked down. I know you have the versatility of Steer, but it was just surprising that maybe you're right. Maybe they're saying these guys are available. These guys are good to go. You're on mute, bud.
I don't know why that happened. That's the only thing I can think is that maybe that's what they thought is that. Yeah, sorry. Maybe I don't know if that's what you say. I don't know if that's what you say in order to make people kind of think that you're buyers, or that you're willing to do what it takes to make a winner. Because that's what most teams do when they say that. Like most teams want to say, hey, we're willing to trade any piece away in order to make our team a winner. And maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to set themselves up that, hey, like nobody's really off limits. We'll move any piece to make our team better. And I don't know if they'll stick by that because people can say that and people can put that in print. But when an offer comes or something's available, are you really going to make the move that's needed to be made? Or are you just going to be like, well, actually, we really don't like that. Maybe we're going to pull back. Maybe, but the way you put that out there tells me that you're willing to do what it takes to make this team a winner and trade the pieces to do it.
And I hope so. I mean, Nick puts in here, a lot of people like Ryan O'Hearn, and I get it. My only concern, and maybe this is just me, I want a cornerstone or somebody that's going to be here 3 to 4 years versus a bridge contract or whatever it is, a 1-year deal, which the Reds are notorious for. But if they can get somebody that's going to be here, so you don't have to worry about first base or left field or DH or whatever pick the position on the diamond, but that would be a nice to have is somebody 3 to 4 years locked in. And I know we had that with Castellanos and gave him like options. And sometimes that's what the Reds have to do to sweeten the deal a little bit is have some options in there. But not having to like recast your net every season to fill whatever that position is, that would be a nice to have. And I'd hope maybe they could get Ryan O'Hearn in something like that. I kind of feel like it would be a bridge because he didn't have a very good year last year, especially after he got traded. So I would hope for at least 3 years of whoever it is, and then tie yourself to that money, just like you did at Jamer Candelario.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that as Reds fans, we really want to see is like we want to see them commit to guys that are going to be around for the long haul. And I'm not saying they got to be 8-9 year guys, but like you said, sign them to a 3-year, 4-year, or you're trying to build something, and you're trying to make that thing work year after year, and trying to build something that's going to last, and not just something like you said as a bridge. Like building those short-term bridges usually doesn't work well because it's always something where either that player is going to play really well for you, or it's going to be like a Jamer Candelario where you're like, we thought it was going to work, it didn't work, and now we owe this dude a ton of money, and he's not here anymore. So it's like, I'm not sure how that, I don't really like that piece. So I'm hoping that they're trying to build to have some sustainability.
Yeah, and look, free agency, there's always going to be a catch-22. Like either they're going to work out and you're going to look like a genius, or they're not going to work out and you're going to be tied to all that money. Every team goes through that. I mean, you saw the Cubs. They released Gordon Hayward, who was, or not Gordon Hayward, Jason Hayward. Gordon Hayward's an NBA player, but they released Jason Hayward after stinking it up for a couple of years, and they were tied to a huge amount of money. So it's not just the Reds. Every team goes through that, and I'm thankful that the Reds recently have learned that they can release players because they used to never do that. Sink or swim, you were out there playing.
No, absolutely, yeah. I'm glad they definitely learned that they can do that. You know, and hopefully, like we've talked about before, I hope it doesn't make them gun shy on doing that and trying to extend for a player that could help this team win baseball games, because I feel like sometimes they get gun shy and they're like, oh, we don't want to get burnt. Well, you bring up a great point. Every team gets burnt at some point. Like it happens to most teams. Like you sign a guy, it doesn't work out, or you sign a guy and they get hurt, or you sign a guy. Like it can't make you not want to take the risk of making your team better.
Yeah, no doubt. And Seth puts in here, big win from OSU this weekend. OHIO, go Buckeyes. But I agree. They got to do something, whether it's a big swing, and that's why I said Kyle Schwarber is probably their best target, because they can offer them what nobody else can. That's, you can retire as Red, meaning we'll give you as many years as you want, dude. We'll tie ourselves to you.
Mm-hmm.
Where Philly's not going to do that. Pirates aren't doing that. Any other team that's in the running for him is not doing that. So that's what I would do. Like, take the risk, take the swing, and I think that's a pretty good guy to take a swing on, honestly. So, we'll see how they shake out. Hopefully, they have a little more movement and news between now and next week. But we did get a bit of a psych out on Twitter this week. The big running rumor was that somebody put out there, and it gained a lot of traction. A lot of the big accounts started responding to it. But the big rumor mill in the Twitter sphere was that something big was coming, and all the ticketing staff were called in to answer phones when a quote big trade drops. Now it turned out to be phony. Nothing happened. We would be reporting on that if something happened. But that was the big psych out, and I saw a lot of people making a lot of different connections, and we can kind of run through a bit of the rumor mill here. But the one that I saw the most was Ketel Marte. Is that they made some deal with the Diamondbacks to get Ketel Marte. That would be great. I don't know what it would take to get done, because I don't want to give up Hunter Green for somebody 5 years older making similar money. So, like, I don't know. What would you like to see the quote unquote big trade be, knowing that the Reds come out on top on trades a lot more than they do on free agency?
Yeah, I mean, Marte would be nice, but like you said, I don't want to lose in a trade for Marte. Like, I don't want to feel like we're like, if we traded Hunter Green in any kind of trade with him, I'd feel like we lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel that way. Like, it'd be nice to have him. Yeah, of course it'd be nice to have him, but I don't want to feel like we're losing one of our cornerstones in order to bring in a guy, like you said, who's older, who's making the same amount of money. So, like, I wouldn't want to do that. But I mean, I don't know if there's anything out there that would work. And honestly, I don't know what deal is out there, which I think there's some deals out there that they could make, but I don't know what kind of pieces they're going to try to put together in a deal in order to move and bring somebody in that's going to have that kind of impact. If that makes sense? Like,
yeah.
in order, I mean, of course, in order to make a big impact, you have to move a big impact piece. And I don't think that any of our impact pieces are really going anywhere. Like I don't think Hunter Green's going anywhere. Of course, Ellie's not going anywhere. I don't think Tyler Stevenson's going anywhere. I I just don't- I mean, you could put a Matt McClain in a deal, but what do you get for
You're
a
trading
Matt?
low on that guy.
Correct. Like, you know what I mean? So like you could put him in a deal. Um, you could put somebody else in a deal, but I just don't think that we have those kind of impact play unless somebody's looking for somebody like in the minors. You know what I mean? But like even in the minors, I don't think that we would put any of our studs in a move. But I could be wrong. I mean, we could. Um, but yeah, I just if we're not talking about Hunter Green or Ellie De La Cruz, we're not going to get a huge impact back for a trade, in my opinion. Like unless somebody's dying to have like a Matt McClain, or they're dying to have like a TJ Friedel, or they're dying, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if those guys make or break a team that's looking to trade for a big piece.
Yeah, I would say my concerns with specifically around Marte, they definitely could have pieces to get it done that probably wouldn't cost you Hunter Green because of the Key Brian Hayes trade. Now third base is locked, so you can extend, or you can like Cam Collier becomes expensible because his position is blocked. Christian Encarnacion Strand still in this org, somebody would take something on him. And then you could sweeten the deal plenty of other ways, especially because I'm looking at it right now. Your top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your top 10 are either shortstop or third baseman. So you got some talent around there that you could do something with. Yeah. But my issue with Ketel Marte, and I'm not saying I would boo-hoo a trade or anything like that, but he is only in 11 seasons, he's only surpassed 140 games 3 times. So he's not, I mean, it's still a good sample. He's still getting out there 130 some games, but I could go both ways on this because you don't want to play hurt because we saw what that did to Ellie, but also you got to be out there enough and then out there when it matters. If you're down the stretch, if you're making that push, that's a guy that you really need to be dependable. And I'm not sure if that is. I mean, he had 126 games last year. Granted, his ER or his OPS plus is incredible every year. He's a career 121 OPS plus, so 21% better than a major league average player. So I'd take it, but that would be something I would factor in a trade is what am I going to get out of this guy season to season? Yeah. Especially as he ages.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the sticking point for me, which I mean, is 32 old in baseball years? Like, is that, especially with the guy who's struggled to play a whole lot of games in a season? I mean, I mean, like I said, like I don't know if there's I mean, I guess there's some prospects in there and some guys in there that you could package together to get him. But I don't know. I mean, I would like to have him. I mean, he would be a great. I mean, he's definitely an impact piece for sure. But I just don't know if there's. I don't know if we have I don't know if we have enough. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Unless they're interested in getting prospects. And we've talked about that before. Like I'm not a guy that wants to hoard prospects. I mean, I think we've mentioned that before. Like I don't if a Cam Collier has to be traded or something like that has to be traded in order to make your major league roster better, I'm okay with it. So if that has to happen, then yeah. But I mean, if they can make it work, I mean, I'm not saying I would turn it down because he's, as long as it doesn't involve Hunter Green. I mean, that would be my sticking point. I don't want Hunter Green to go anywhere.
I would agree. And if it's a money thing for the Reds, that might be a reason that they're throwing Hunter Green out there. Because I mean, Ketel Marte is making $16 million this year, $12 million next year, and then $20 million the next 3 years. So could be a money thing if you want to like exit salary to take on that salary. Fine, I understand that argument as the team, but I think you could take that money on. He would put butts in seats. He would get you probably a little further in the playoffs. So those would be things that I would look for. Nick puts in here, what are our thoughts on Adolis Garcia or Randy Arozarena? Both. Get them both. I love both of them.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, those are pieces that could move the needle, right? I mean, those are guys that could definitely put you in a position to be able to compete, and not just be in the playoffs, but be able to compete in the playoffs. So, and put you in a higher spot, put you in a higher seat, and possibly win your division. You bring in two guys like that, that's a roster flip. Those are game changer guys.
Yeah, I would love Randy Arozarena. I'm pretty sure he's in his last year of arbitration, if I'm correct.
Is he really?
I think so. So you would have to make a trade with Seattle, who's obviously in contention. But that's a guy I would love to have is Randy. Yeah, he's in his last year of arbitration this year. So I would love to have Randy Arozarena. He plays left field. We have a hole in left field. He hits like an animal. I love Randy Arozarena. I wanted Randy from Tampa and before Seattle stepped in and got him. But either that or Adolis Garcia, who actually is a free agent from being non-tendered. So he's another guy that he hits like an animal. I know he's a little bit older. I think he's 33.
I think so.
But nonetheless, like that's a guy I would go for is Adolis Garcia. I know you're probably not alone in that market, but how much better, like we talk about it all the time. It's like, how much better is this team in any situation with real protection around Ellie? First off, a healthy Ellie, and then like a huge big bopper bat, like a Eugenio Suarez or Kyle Schwarber or Pete Alonso, like these big bat guys. And Adolis Garcia is one of those guys that I think the Reds could get and like really just improves this team up and down. Just one player improves this team.
Yeah. No, that's the biggest thing that I hope that they're looking at is that the protection for Ellie. So like even when Andujar came and you could see him hitting around Ellie, and even though Ellie wasn't healthy, you could tell that his at-bats became better because he had somebody there that was there to, if you made a mistake, he was there to clean it up when he was healthy and he was in the lineup. So providing that protection for Ellie in that lineup is huge. So I'm hoping that they're looking at that as a big picture thing of we need a guy that can come in and hit, anywhere from 25 to 35 home runs and drive in 100 runs. And protect Ellie. And I think that would help Ellie. Well, that and being healthy will help Ellie be able to produce the way that we know Ellie can produce.
Yeah, I'm looking up. So Spotrac, and obviously these are made up numbers, but they're usually pretty close. They're saying that his estimated market value is about $12 million, which is perfect. That is in the Reds ballpark to do damage with. He'll be 33 in the season. I'm looking up what his kind of stats are. So his batting average will not blow you away. Definitely will not blow you away, but he's still good for, and last year, not a very good year, but before that, 25 home runs, 39 home runs, 27 home runs, 31 home runs. Where was our RBIs? 101 RBIs, 107 RBIs, 85 RBIs. So this is a guy that can like really hit for power. So that's a guy that you need in this lineup is just a hitter, a pure hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's getting a little bit older, and you're hoping that maybe last year was just not a good year, but
Yeah.
he was still pretty good on defense with a 2.7 WAR, which is still pretty good for a guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, and everybody knows that he's going to have games in Great American too. So I mean, it's that's a hitter friendly park, and that's going to make his numbers uh be better at on that end as well. So I think last year was kind of an anomaly. I mean, because you look at the years before that, I mean he was hitting the crap out of the ball.
Yeah.
So I think last year might have been an anomaly. So you bring a guy in like that into your lineup, and he instantly makes you better. So it just gives you that needed pop and that needed power that we need in that lineup. I mean, it's been known. I mean, I think we talked about it before. Like Ellie can't lead your team in home runs. Like I just, even though he can hit home runs, he can't be the guy that's your home run hitter.
Correct. He can't. He shouldn't be the leader of home runs for you. That's
right.
Insane. He is your power guy and your defensive wizard. I know the errors, whatever, but he still leads the league in defensive runs saved because he does so many other things, and leads the league in stolen bases. Like, it's unfair to expect him to be leading the team in home runs as well.
No, absolutely, yeah. It's a strain. I mean, and of course, any good players, like I said, is going to want that pressure, but you also too have to be realistic. Like that, the guy is kind of does everything for you. You got to get him some help. You got to get him some protection. You got to get him around where he's able to be as productive as he can be with other people around him.
Right. One other point on Adolis Garcia that I'll put out there, even with it being a down year and whatnot, that's playing in Globe Life, which is not a hitter friendly park at all.
No.
Bring that guy to Cincinnati.
Yep.
Man. Which I feel like we talk about this all the time, and the Reds just don't listen. Like, you have one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks. Why are we not leading the league in home runs? Or basically, why are we not leading the league in home runs? Because we play 82 games inside Great American Ballpark, which is, it should be so, like, balls should be soaring out of there. Granted, we're far from the days of Jay Bruce, Adam Dunn, like, cranking them out to the river, but come on, like, what are we playing small ball for in this? Like, play to our park's advantage.
Yep. No, but part of that is how you adjust your lineup, right? Like, I mean, you got to have, if you want to play to the strength of the field and to where we play, then you got to have guys in your lineups that can do that consistently. So I think we play small ball because we don't have guys that hit home runs consistently. But if you put a guy in there that can hit 25 to 35 home runs, it's going to up everybody else's production in home runs because you're going to see better pitches.
Yeah, I agree. And as we kind of get through some of these other rumor mill items, I've seen a lot of connections for the Reds to Pete Alonso. I do not see that happening at all. I don't think he returns as a Met, but I think he's priced way beyond whatever the Reds would be willing to offer anybody.
Yeah. No, I think he's a big market guy, man. Like he's a Yankee, he's a Dodger, he's a Padre, possibly. He seems like he's an East Coast guy though. So I mean, if he stays on the East Coast, it's going to be something like that. Like he's just his price range is just way out of our market. I mean, so I think he's going to end up in some big time spot. I don't think, like you said, I don't think it'll be the Mets. I think he's had about enough of his Mets fill after their collapse this year. And guys like that produce like he does, like they want to win. Like the production's nice, and you're able to put up all-star numbers and do that stuff. But you're watching other guys do the same things but win World Series. You know what I mean? Like So, when you're watching guys like Aaron Judge who are in the playoffs year in and year out, you're watching guys like, Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani and all Freddie Freeman, all these different stars are in that kind of limelight. Um, the stats start to not matter, and you want to win, and you want to be on that stage. And he thought the Mets could give him that opportunity. And I mean, truthfully, they probably should have, because they were good enough to be in the postseason. They just blew it. It was an epic collapse and epic failure. So, for him, he sees the writing on the wall. Like, he's not dumb. So he wants to be in a spot. He wants to be in a spot where he is not guaranteed to make the playoffs, but has a good enough roster with him in it that they are like, hey, we are a playoff contender.
For context, he is estimated to be the 4th most expensive free agent behind Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, and Framber Valdez. So if everybody's questioning if the Reds can afford Kyle Schwarber, they definitely can't afford Pete Alonso.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing about that too. Like I just don't know if, like, we've got the hometown thing with Schwarber where we're his hometown. So that's going to play to our advantage. Pete Alonso, and it's not a knock on the Reds, but Pete Alonso is going to want to go to a bigger market than Cincinnati, because he's going to want to win. He's going to want to win now. So, like I said, you can put up all the stats you want and be a great player in your city and blah, but at the end of the day, people want to win World Series. So he wants to put himself in an opportunity to win a World Series. That's what those big market teams. Not saying that the Reds can't develop a roster to get there. They're just not there yet.
Yeah. And Nick puts in here, and I totally agree. He's going to Boston.
Yeah. No, yeah. East Coast guy, like, trying to play. He likes playing on the East Coast. He definitely fits that Boston moniker.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think they really have a first baseman right now. So they're definitely, like, if I'm Boston, I'm hunting after that guy. But the other kind of most recent news, and it's not Reds news particularly, but Reds adjacent, is that the reports have come out in the past couple of days that the Phillies and Schwarber are, quote, nowhere close. So that could really favor us. I mean, outside of the Reds, the Phillies are kind of the favorite for Kyle Schwarber to return to. If those guys aren't even close to anything, and maybe it's Schwarber's asking the sun, the moon, the stars, maybe he wants more years. There really hasn't been a lot of details around kind of what he's asking for. But that's got to be, like, if I'm the Reds, it's got to have my ears burning. Like, come on, they're not doing you any favors, so let us swoop in there,
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I think the only thing that makes me a little bit concerned about it is that they're not agreeing on a number, which tells me that maybe Philly's coming in low. And if the Phillies are coming in low, the Reds are going to come in lower. So let's be honest. I'm not trying to spoil the Kyle Schwarber party, but there has to be somewhere where, there could be a multitude of things. Like, he could just not like their management. He could not like their, how they handle things. But if you had to guess, I would. There's either a number that he's at and the Phillies can't get close, or there's years that he's at and the Phillies can't get close. My guess would be that he probably wants anywhere from like 4 to 5, and the Phillies might be at 3. Which he's like, I'm not going back to Philly for 3. He's like, I want 4 or 5 on a deal. The thing that makes me nervous is the number. Like, we haven't had any details about what his number is, or what his number could be, or what he's thinking. And to his credit, I mean, he's pretty private and personal, which as a player, I mean, that's cool. But I do love the fact that he loves his hometown. But I don't know if he's willing to leave millions off the table for it. Now, if the Reds can get close, I think the hometown plays in our favor. Because I do think he wants to play in Cincinnati. So if they can get close, and I think the years is the biggest thing, because when you get older in age, man, you want to get those last 4 or 5 years of that money left. So I think the years is the big one. If they can come close, if they can get the years and come close to the number, I think the hometown, playing in my hometown and retiring as a Red could definitely play in the favor of the Reds.
I think so. And, he's 32. He'll be 33 this season. I have no problem giving him a 5-year deal. Because of the evolution with having a DH. Like, if he can't play in the field anymore, great. You're hitting
Ray.
tanks. Just sit there. I mean, we saw David Ortiz hit tanks until he was 40. And because all he had to do was be a designated hitter. So I think you can definitely give him a 5-year. If he's asking say 30 mil on an AAV, you can give him 5-year at say 26 or 5-year at 27. Like what's $3 million a year to that guy? He's probably paying $3 million a year in Philadelphia taxes. Or he's not going to be paying that in Ohio. So there's a multitude of financial ways around it, but you like 5 years for Kyle Schwarber, sign me up. I'm ready to go.
No, I'm definitely with you on that. If they can get him 5 years, I think that the 3 to 4 mil that they would be off of, I think the hometown covers that. You know what I mean? Like when I would assume that he grew up as a Reds fan, which he's talked about, being able to retire as a Red, I think would mean more to him than the 3 or 4 mil. Now I could be wrong. I could definitely be off. But if you say, say we're going 5 years, 130 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I think if you're at 20, if that's 26 mil, so 5 years, 130, if my math's correct, probably about 26 mil a year, 26 somewhere in there.
You're right on the money. Great quick math.
Yeah. So, but I think that that's enough that, hey, I get to retire as a Red. I think that could be enough. I really do. Because I think there's something about that. And you saw that with like when Ken Griffey Jr. came home. Like there's something about playing for your hometown team. Now, he didn't end as healthy as he wanted to, and of course he went back to the White Sox and all that stuff. But he was able to come home and play for his hometown team, which meant the world to him. And I think it would mean a lot to Kyle Schwarber to be able to play in front of his family and friends and all the guys he grew up with, and to be in your hometown for your I don't know if it'll be the last 5 years of his career, but he's 33. He'd be 38 when the contract ended. I mean, he'd be pretty close to the end there. So I think that would mean more to him than losing out on $3 to $4 million a year.
I mean, Nick puts a good point in here. He can make up that $3 million in Chevy endorsements or Kroger endorsements or just anything.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, freaking Jake Sweeney Kia, all the food joints, Jeff Ruby's going to sponsor him. You'll make up that in local endorsements down here. There'll be every local restaurant will try to have him, the hometown guy. I mean, they run commercials with Hunter Green and all these guys all the time down here. So he'll make that up in endorsements easy.
No doubt. So I know we don't have like a ton of actual things to cover and talk about, but it's always fun to get on here and speculate and put our tinfoil hats on. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We want to let you know to use our code Riverfront to get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. That can be Bengals tickets. Hey, they're still in the hunt. They could be Buckeyes tickets. They could be whatever it is, use our code Riverfront and get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. We encourage everybody to join our ever-growing Cincinnati sports fan family and support the show through Patreon. That's patreon.com/RiverfrontCincy. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest not only from our show, but from the Riverfront Red Show and Welcome to the Jungle. Follow us on Twitter. That's at Riverfront Cincy, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all the socials. Please subscribe to the audio version of this podcast. Give us likes, ratings, reviews, and everything elsewhere. Be a friend. Tell a friend. We're just Cincinnati sports fans trying to make a good show for other Cincinnati sports fans. So tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't. You directly influence the show. So reach out. Let us know what's up. And thank you again for tuning in. So for Ben Brown, I'm Skylar Wepker. And as always, go Reds.
Go Reds.